Hi, this is Francie Ely. I am writing you from sunny San Diego, and I am excited to talk about my top 10 favorite books. But first, here is a picture of my family. I have three children: my husband, Sean, my two daughters, Ember and Abby, and my son, Wes. Both my girls are married and moved away, and my son is on his mission, and I am excited to be here as I love to read. Something interesting about me is I love to karaoke. I don't actually karaoke in front of people, just in front of my friends. So, which they are people technically, I guess, but we're not like in public. Let's put it that way. Um, for my top 10 favorite children's book, my first one would have to be I Am Forever a Potterhead. I love all the Harry Potters in the series. I have read them all multiple times. Have a deep love for J.K. Rowling's writing style and really love Harry Potter. My next book is Skippy John Jones. If you have not read this book to your kids, you need to do so. It's a great book about a fun little cat that looks like a dog, and they're amazing and fun and great illustrations, and great one to share with your family. Alexander and the Terrible, Horrible, No Good, Very Bad Day by Judith Forst. This is one of my favorite books because I used to read it to my kids all of the time, and I still say it to my children, even though they are adults, and I say, some days are like that, even in Australia. And they get that reference, and it's fun to look back on that one. Curious George books. Love the Curious George books. When I was a kid and reading them to my own kids, he was just in so much trouble all the time, and we just loved them. Also, from my childhood, I loved to read Heidi books. I loved that she lived out in the wilderness, up in the mountains, and had such wonderful adventures. And I loved the illustrations in the books. They were really great and fun. Madeline. I always had this obsession with France and with Madeline and her little school uniform. One of my daughters even dressed as Madeline for Halloween when they were young enough to do things that I wanted them to do. So, love Madeline and the kind of whimsical and dreamlike illustrations that are in the Madeline books. Another one of my favorites, Captain Underpants. Dave Pilkey writes a great, funny story. Got my son into reading by introducing him to the Captain Underpants series, and nothing greater than seeing your kid tucked in the corner reading a book instead of on an electronic device. So he really loved it. We would read them together. He would read them alone. My girls liked them too, but great series of books. I love anything by Roald Dahl, but the BFG is one of my absolute favorites. I remember laughing out loud the first time I read the BFG. It's a great book. Love the way the BFG talks, and I love his relationship with the little girl whose name escapes me right now. My next book is Strega Nona was one that I have very vivid memories of reading in my childhood, and everyone thought this lady was a witch, and she had a very special pot that did very special things, and it was a great book, and super simple illustrations, which I really liked too, and soothing colors, I always thought. And my last book on my list is Bread and Jam for Francis. And this was one of my favorites when I was a kid because my name is Francis. And that's why my parents bought this book for me. And there's a lot of different Francis books. And she's a little badger, and she's adorable. And was lots of fun and loved having a book by my name. And that's it.